Thanks for coming out today, and we're lucky it's not that warm. My name is Andy Toorock. I'm the representative of the Veterans Advisory Board that is presenting the Quilt of Valor to Nelson. When Nelson went in the Army, he sent him to school for 6 weeks, counter-intelligence school. When he left there, he went for a year to the language school in Monterey, California, and guess what? He learned to speak Korean. And I was a little surprised because I've had some experience with the military. He learned Korean. I figured they send him to Russia.
That was my plan.
Or any other country that didn't speak Korean, but they sent him to Korea. And there he was involved with the Central, well, actually it wasn't the Central, it was the counterintelligence. And basically his job was to be there and look for, catch, and interrogate any North Koreans that came down into the South to do whatever they did. There was one other thing that Nelson made it from private to first sergeant in 3 years. Pretty remarkable. You knew the general, is that it?
He was my uncle.
Oh, good. Then why weren't you a major? At this point, I'd like to read a little prayer to you. A veteran's prayer. Dear Lord, I've served my country. My love for her is strong. I've stood behind Old Glory when others thought her wrong. I've joined in a celebration and raised a toast to cheer. I've pledged her my allegiance and sung her anthem dear. I've wept for fallen comrades who proudly fought and died. The freedoms they defend, I cherish deep inside. I'm proud I'm an American. For her strength and peace I pray. There is no greater country. May God bless the USA.
Trouble knowing.
Take two.
And I'm only 49 and I'm
That's what you said last year.
Well, we're just going to have to... Nope.
Love with the talent.
The mission of the Quilt of Valor Foundation is to cover service members and veterans. Oh, where is, oh, I knew you wanted to hog the microphone. The mission of the Quilts of Valor Foundation is to cover service members and veterans touched by war. Catherine Roberts is the founder of the Quilt of Valor. And it's a very interesting story. She had a vision one day. And the vision was of her son, who was in Afghanistan. And there he was, depressed. He looked horrible. It was terrible. She was very upset. But then she had another vision. And there's the same son in the same spot in Afghanistan, happy, cheery. It was wonderful. What was the difference? son had a quilt around him. And that she started in 2003, the Quilt of Valor. She had 3 made up. She went to Walter Reed Hospital. Saw I guess he was an admiral, the head doctor, and gave him 3 and said, please give them to whoever you want. They can use them. The next day, the admiral called her and asked for 100. And that was the start of Quilts of Valor. Right now, 370,000 quilts have been given out. There is a coordinator in every state in the Union, and it's very interesting that people, whether they're friends, they don't know each other, they get together and they make the quilts, they're put together, and then they're given out to people, men and women, who are touched by war. Paul, could you open that up? We'd like to show you the quilt because they are amazing. They all have one thing in common: red, white, and blue. Now, I have to say one thing. Where's your wife? Oh, there she is. We have a rule once we give these out. It better not show up in the closet or in a box under the bed. It's beyond the bed all the time. But if you're going away, we have something else. This pillowcase came about when they were having the quilts in Vietnam, and actually the helicopters, and there are no doors, anybody knows about them. So this, you can pack it. You put it in here and take it with you, but never take it off the bed. You got that? I know you're the boss. Okay, and I'm going to tell him too.
That's what I needed
Did you hear what I said about the bed?
I'm sorry. Yeah.
Yes, you're gonna keep it on the bed.
It'll be on there this afternoon.
Okay. Aren't you going home this morning?
I got a couple more games.
Oh, geez. I have one other thing to read. And this is a poem about the Quilt of Valor that the coordinator in Virginia wrote. And it really hits it right on the head. A few pieces of cloth from people who care. To honor your service, it only seems fair. Certainly chosen materials, red, white, and blue, sewn together for those patriotic and true. A top piece together with caring and pride, and qualified with backing and warm layers inside. Every stitch, every seam, from the very start, with appreciation and gratitude, straight from the heart. For those who have sacrificed, for those who are at home, may this quilt warm and comfort you wherever you roam. Make sure you take the quilt with you. Our hope with this quilt is to make sure you knew we appreciate all you've done and all you've been through. So thank you very much, Nelson, for your service. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yep.
I'm in charge, not you. This is a certificate. Reads Nelson Ball, United States Army. This quilt is an honorary 300,000th Quilt of Valor. This was made up about 4 weeks ago for him, so it's changed to 370. The Quilts of Valor Foundation wishes to recognize you for your service to our nation. We consider it a privilege to do so. Though we never know the extent of your sacrifice to protect and defend the United States of America, we award you this Quilt of Valor as an expression of gratitude from a grateful nation, signed by Laurie Thompson, who is the executive director of the quilt, and by Teresa Perot, who is the Massachusetts coordinator. So, congratulations. Get up now.
Oh, okay. Oh, thank you so much. 여러분은 체험이 공입니다. 엄청 고백. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought I was back in Korea. Oh, I really do appreciate this. I want to thank the board for choosing me on this because there's been.
Why don't you give them the right
Want me to give in Korean again? No.
Ortiz gave it in Spanish and English yesterday.
Why not? Why not? Why not? I just so appreciative of all this, what is done. I want to thank the committee. I thank all those people who put hours and hours in putting this together. It's really an honor to receive it, and I will certainly treat it with pride. And yes, even when we go to Florida, we'll take it with us, okay? You pay the shipping? I mean, I just wanted to add a few things about this town of Westborough. We've got a wonderful town here. I thank the administration and our governing people, the Recreation Corporation that's done so much. And Andy asked me, well, what really have you done in this town? Well, there's a couple of things that happened, but I wanted to thank a lot of people. One of the things was way back, I started the Rotary Club. I was the first president, and what gives me the joy is that the organization is still alive and thriving. Although COVID's hit every organization, they were kind enough to put that nice blue bench over there for me on our 50th anniversary, of which many people sit and enjoy themselves with. A few years later, I started the Music Parents Association, and in Arrow, anybody here from the education department? Which they didn't want any interference whatsoever from parents, which is kind of a, when you think about today, they're just begging people to be active, and they really should be. So we had to do this in rather a clandestine way, which I was very good at, by the way. And, we would meet, and they never knew we met. And that organization, I think in 2025 years, and in a couple of years, that'll have its 50th anniversary. In the 70s, we had a need at the west end of town, although there were facilities down here. We created an organization known as Fay Mountain Recreation Corporation on Adams Street, which was a group of 50 families. There's still, and now it's 55 families. I'm sure there's someone up there splashing this morning or playing tennis and such. And then, of course, this crazy outfit behind me. It was 1980. About 19. Where are we right now? 2000. It was about 12 years ago. Our tennis group kind of imploded due to health problems, and I was in Florida and learned the pickleball. Brought it up here, and started here. And I mean, it's just watch this. Monday is a little slower day. Generally speaking, this thing is packed full with 32 people, with players, and another 15 or so waiting to play. And I would judge. If you drive by here, you'll see. I would judge there's between 150 and 200 people a week playing on these courts. And although it was intended initially to provide an activity, not for me, but for older people, anybody from 55 and over, it's really available to all people in all sports. Thankfully, Northborough just added 6 courts a few minutes over to McAfee Park. That's taking a little pressure off of us. But I just want to thank all those people who over the years helped us get all these things going. And I also mentioned I want to thank this young lady in the middle here with that blue top, who's put up with me for 67. I always interpreted that number. Not intentionally, of course. For all the things that she supported, and my kids who are here too also.
We love you, Dad.
Huh?
We love you, Dad.
And I say in this town, and finally, and not the least important, but one of the most important, is that this country I was born in the Depression era, and I can remember my dad. He would make $9 a day working on the railroad, and often worked 7 days a week to support a family of 5 kids. So I mean, this country has offered so much, and it does concern me, frankly, that all the rights and the privileges and benefits we have and the liberties. We've got to be careful, I think. I think if more people, and I know COVID is a bad restriction on travel right now, but if more people traveled out of this country and saw how other countries live and the freedoms they lack and the dictatorships under which they live, they would come home so thankful. And I know I say, I know we have problems, we have to deal with them, but this is still the greatest country on earth.